One of the other great parts about being around the Coyotes is you. There was a tweet, I'm sure you're all familiar with this by now, from Yost Trade Central. That really struck me because Yost Trade Central, we've known it. We got to meet him at the draft in Montreal. He's been around for a long time. He's been a really ardent Coyotes supporter through it all, through all the nonsense that's occurred with this franchise. And when someone like that tells you they feel disconnected from the team, more disconnected than they ever have in their life, and they actually got unfollowed by the team account, that makes me take notice. What's going on here? So I decided to take the temperature of the fan base on a variety of very open-ended, very general questions. I don't want to belabor this too much. I'll just hit the main points. You can read this at gophnx.com. I got like 30,000 words of responses. I was just overwhelmed. I think that's at an average of a 100-page book right there that I could have written just from the responses, which was crazy. Thank you all. I'm sorry I didn't get nearly enough of those in. I will have a survey coming in the offseason that touches on a lot of these areas again, where everyone can literally have their comments public. But I just want to reiterate some points, I guess. A couple of things that stood out. There's a strong belief in this management group on what Bill Armstrong and the development staff and the scouting staff are doing with hockey operations. There's a really strong belief in what they're doing and staying committed to it in spite of, what we've seen in the past, calls from ownership to, no, we got to win now. Calls from fans, no, we need to win now. We're ready to win now. No, they're not. No, they're not. The system isn't complete yet. The prospect system isn't complete yet. The rebuild is not complete yet. And they're not veering off that path. So kudos to them. And honestly, which leads me into the other area, kudos to ownership for investing in those areas, because this is, again, as we've said a million times, the most complete hockey operations staff they've ever had. That said, some of the takes on ownership and the social media behaviors of the Coyotes were outright scathing. People are not happy with this ownership group for not getting in this arena deal done, not communicating with either the public or the team itself. They don't like the public face that's visible on social media. There are a lot of really tough comments. If you're not paying attention to that as an owner of a team, that's a troubling statement. This honestly, hearing how widespread it was, that should be a wake-up call, and I hope it is.
Yeah, I think it's important too first, I think it's important people read this article. I really do. But one thing I want to reiterate and share, this isn't a commentary by Craig Morgan.
Nope.
This isn't a commentary by PHNX. This is not a commentary from us. This is a commentary from the fan base of the Arizona Coyotes. And this was just a vehicle for them to share their opinions. And that's a concern. To your point, Craig, the hockey side was encouraging. They believe in what Bill Armstrong's doing and what this team is trying to accomplish on the ice, and they understand the growing pains of a rebuild. But I do think there are some messages there that I think people need to take to heart. So I'm curious to see how this evolves over the upcoming days.
Yeah, that's who pays your bills. That's the support. That's your lifeblood right there, talking to you directly. I hope they're paying attention.
Yeah, and thank you to everybody. I mean, it was crazy, the responses that came in and the thought and time that was put into it. So much so that some people didn't even make the deadline because so many people replied and people were taking the time to write out their thoughts. And Craig had mentioned there'll be another survey this summer, hopefully, for more people to share their voice. But if you want a very accurate snapshot, and as three people who cover this team 5 to 7 days a week and are entrenched in the community and are in our Discord, and these are diehard Coyotes fans.
Mm-hmm. Literally, these were our diehards.
Literally our diehards.
We only gave them the opportunity. So if you're thinking, it's some casual guy who doesn't,
no.
These are the people that really care about this
There's
team.
nobody trolling. There's nobody posing as a Coyotes fan. These are the true diehards. And I felt like the article was extremely reflective of the tone that has been in these conversations, in our Discord, in our YouTube chats, in our Twitter comments for months. So if anybody's out there, maybe you're more of a casual fan, or you're watching this outside of the Coyotes fan base, I highly recommend reading it because it gives, I think, a very accurate snapshot into the the temperature of
Yeah.
the Coyotes.
And that's a
fan
good point,
base.
because I think there's so many fan bases outside of the Arizona hockey market that poke fun at this fan base, that are critical of the fan base and make fun of this fan base, and it's the butt of jokes in this fan base. I think this gives you another look. That's not the reality of the fan base, of the fans of this team. The fans of this team are like fans anywhere. They love their team and they appreciate their team, and this is their voice. So I think if you want to get behind the curtain and see what the understanding is of this fan base and what they believe, I think it's important that you read this article.
Yeah, and then just one last thing to Tim Wall. I mean, that walk-off quote. I mean, writers talk about wanting great walk-off quotes in a story. That you want a way to put a bow on it.
Yeah.
That was so insightful and so powerful. I had to use. I knew I was using that right when I saw it as the.
I literally DM'd him because
Yeah.
I was like, "That was incredible."
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It really
so
was.
read the story.
Read the
Encourage
story
everybody.
and read the last thoughts too.